Good job. All right. After I do powder, let's talk about blush. You can see that, again, we've got brushes that are two different sizes. This smaller one is the one that I'm going to use for blush. You can use an angled blush brush. You can use a narrower blush brush. This is the one I've got and that I'm going to use. And what's so great about blush brushes is I can use my fingers and I can change the shape for how I want to use the blush to contour her face. So this blush that I'm using here, you got that tie right there. It does not have to be MAC. It does not. I just grabbed this one because it's a really good pink that I like. It's called Rose Quartz. I don't know if they still make it this color, but we're looking for pinks. We're wanting to avoid anything too red, and we want to stay away from orange. We can move into a coral, but a coral pink, more pink would be better. So when I'm going to do blush, what I want to do is the opposite of what I did with my powder brush. I'm going to load my blush brush. I'm going to do some little taps and I'm going to flip it over and do a little more on the other side. And then I'm going to tap it. Instead of holding it up like this, I'm going to point it down and tap it over a Kleenex like that, just to get rid of any little clumps on there as I deposit it on her cheek. All right, so we're coming over to the cheek here, Ty. So how we decide where we're going to put blush is if we take our finger, we can feel on her face here and down the side of her cheek. Up here, I can feel bone. And this is what we call the cheekbone. This is the top of the cheekbone. It reaches right up under the eye and it comes all the way across here to the side of the nose. And if I move down her cheek, I can feel the bone come in to where her upper jaw begins in there. And this is what we call the hollow of the cheek. And then as we keep coming down the structure of her face, we come to her lower jaw along here. Now, for the blush that we're doing for this show, we want to focus on placing the pigment in between the hollow of the cheek and her cheekbone. We don't want to come all the way up here. This will create a more false, obvious blush look. Remember, this is a period piece. We're going for natural, but we need to accent our features so that we can be seen on stage. So as I come down here, as her cheekbone starts to come down just a bit, this is the area that I'm going to focus on. It's right about here in front of her ear. And we're going to be bringing most of the color from the back and coming forward almost in a little bit of a U shape like that. And we're going to aim for the area between her nose and her mouth with this style of blush. So I've got my blush brush loaded. I'm going to start towards her ear, right in that area, just as her cheekbone's coming down into the hollow of her cheek. And I'm going to do little strokes and come back because and here's a little tip too. As I come forward, I almost want with the U, it to come a little narrower. And so as I come forward, I can pinch my brush and make it narrower. So from fat to thin. That's just a little trick that I like to use with brushes. So I can change the shape as I come forward like that. Now, if she was going out for a night on the town, this would be plenty of blush. Plenty. We wouldn't even wear this much to school, would we? We're going to be on stage though. And I want you to think about standing 10 to 20 feet away from someone with lights blazing on her face. It's going to cut this in about half of how intense the color is. So I'm going to load my brush again. And I'm going to tap it off. And I'm going to start towards the back. And I'm starting to pinch my brush when I move forward, right to there. And I'm going to come to about the edge of her eye, right down here. If we bring it too far forward, then we get a round look, and we're trying to avoid a clown look. Now, because we are in And something else that I like to do is blend it up just a little bit towards the hairline. Now, right now, this looks like a lot of blush on Matea. But for stage, this is really good. And even thinking now, I would bring it up just a titch higher. Right, to do it again, just a little bit, but not up too high. All right, so we talked about what the difference is between wearing, if I say to you, wear more blush. That doesn't mean that we put it over a larger surface area. It just means we intensify where we've already put it, like that. All right, so that is an example of blush. All right, can you think of anything else to do with makeup other than wear it? Excellent. Thanks, everybody.